This is the story of a stalker young lady who joined the Crown Prince's army just so she could follow him around every single day. One night, while she was secretly sneaking into his bedroom, she was finally caught. Let's just say her obsession went way too far this time. In the end, the Crown Prince, who had become completely fed up with her behavior, killed her. Then the scene shifts. We see an oven overheating, and nearby a girl is casually reading comics on her phone. She smiles contentedly and says, "Well, that's the obvious outcome." Suddenly, the oven blasts open with a loud bang. Then we see a woman wearing a maid outfit rushes in, shouting, "My lady, please get a hold of yourself." Seeing the noble lady who was wearing a revealing dress lying in poor condition, the maid anxiously asks, "My lady, are you all right? Do you remember?" The oven exploded. The lady looks confused for a moment. When she finally comes back to her senses, she is shocked because she doesn't recognize this place at all. Soon, she realizes something unbelievable. She has possessed the body of the villainess from the novel she was reading, Lady Sincerity de Prenius. While taking a bath, she panics internally, thinking she's completely doomed. Sincerity, that name alone screams early death. After the bath, the maid tells her they don't have many clean clothes because Sincerity was so busy chasing after His Highness, the Crown Prince, that she never bothered to change outfits properly. As the maid begins selecting dresses, the lady suddenly remembers Saravi's usual clothing style and tries to stop her. But the maid proudly shows the outfits and says, "Tata, this is the sexy style you always prefer, my lady. Please choose whichever you like." Seeing the revealing dresses, the lady almost faints but somehow controls herself. She firmly says she doesn't want to wear that kind of clothing anymore and tells the maid to throw all of them away while she goes to change. The maid is confused for a moment, then quietly murmurs while staring at the dresses. It seems the young lady has finally returned to her senses. Sincerity peeks out again and says she needs one more specific item. Meanwhile, in the corridor, several knights are gossiping about how Sincerity caused the oven explosion and ruined all the food. They also talk about all the terrible things she has done in the past. Suddenly, one soldier freezes in shock when he sees a completely different Sincerity, dressed neatly in a soldier's uniform. Next, Sincerity stands in front of the Crown Prince's office. She recalls the original novel's plot. Sincerity relentlessly chases Crown Prince Raven and is destined to die at the age of 18. According to her maid, she is currently 15, meaning she only has 3 years left. She clenches her fists and motivates herself, saying she can still change her fate. Inside the room, a soldier reports to the Crown Prince that, while Lady Sincerity was cooking, the oven exploded and she collapsed. The Crown Prince asks calmly, "An oven explosion? Were there any other casualties?" The soldier replies that no one else was injured. The Crown Prince sighs in relief and says, "Then that's good news." The soldier looks completely confused by that response. The Crown Prince then turns to the soldier who was also the vice commander and asks if he has met Lady Sincerity yet. When the vice commander says no, the prince advises him seriously to avoid her at all costs. If you see her, run the other way. Don't get involved with her. The vice commander agrees. The prince adds, "You'll recognize her instantly, even from far away. She gives off an unnatural aura from head to toe." He then remembers how she once made him a cinnamon cake without cinnamon and shudders. Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Seeing her at all is unbearable. He warns the vice commander one final time to stay away. Suddenly, a voice from outside interrupts. "This is Sincerity. May I come in?" The Crown Prince's face darkens instantly. How unfortunate. I have to meet her. As Sincerity enters, the prince asks the vice commander, "Are you prepared to face the monster?" The vice commander confidently replies that he can overcome any trial. The prince gives a small smile and said, "How dependable. Then allow me to introduce you to the most hideous monster in the world." At that moment, Sincerity steps forward, bows politely, and greets them with a gentle smile, all while wearing a soldier's uniform. The Crown Prince is completely stunned because this isn't her usual behavior at all. The vice commander is also confused, since everything he heard about her doesn't match what he's seeing. Sincerity cheerfully says she has come to escort the prince to the dining hall because dinner is ready. Both men freeze in shock. Now we learn something important. The Crown Prince's army, Dishjan, has one major problem. They don't have a cook. All the soldiers are combat specialists. Every time they try to prepare food together, they destroy everything. They cut the cutting boards instead of vegetables, crack eggs on each other's heads, and even use flamethrowers instead of stoves. The result? Completely inedible food. Earlier, we saw Saravi in the kitchen with her maid. As she skillfully chopped vegetables, the maid watched in awe and asked if she was good at cooking too. Saravi proudly said yes. While cooking, she thought to herself that if she blew up the kitchen again and ran away, she would be in serious trouble. Thankfully, the food turned out delicious. She explains that cooking is both her hobby and special skill. She also hopes that if the prince enjoys the meal, it might help erase her terrible reputation and improve her favorability with him. But then, right in front of her, the crown prince violently throws the food off his plate in disgust. With a dark expression, he says, "So you've added another underhanded tactic this time." He continues angrily, "You're still as foolish as ever. You actually try to make me eat this vile food again." Saravi is completely stunned. Again, she thinks. What does he mean again? The prince glares at her and asks coldly, "What are you plotting this time?" Saravi clenches her fists, slowly picks up some of the food, and eats it without hesitation. Both the crown prince and the vice commander are completely shocked by her bold action. After eating it, she calmly says, "I don't know what you've misunderstood, but this is a perfectly normal dish made with fresh ingredients." She then gently advises him, "If you say you won't eat it, I can't force you, but please don't throw it away." Hearing this, the crown prince responds coldly, "It seems you're plotting something again. Fine, if you think you can pull it off, then try. Not that I'll ever be fooled by you." After saying that, he turns around and leaves the room. Saravi becomes irritated, not understanding what he meant, and remains silent for a while. The vice commander also stands quietly beside her, unsure of what to say. After a moment, he takes a bite from the plate, and as expected, the food is actually delicious. Later, we see Saravi sitting quietly inside a carriage. Her maid excitedly announces, "We've arrived at the mansion, my lady." Saravi softly replies, "I see." When she steps down from the carriage, she is stunned by the grand sight before her and thinks, "What a magnificent building, as expected of the most powerful family in the empire." Here, we learn that her family ranks just below the royal family in power and influence. She opens the door to her room and says in surprise, "This is my room? It's way too flashy." Her maid responds politely, "My lady, I shall go prepare your bath." After entering the room, Saravi sits on the bed and thinks that it feels a little uncomfortable, since she isn't used to such a large and luxurious space. Suddenly, her foot touches a box on the floor. She bends down with excitement and thinks, could it be a jewelry box? She opens it and is instantly stunned by what she finds inside. Just then, her maid returns with a smile and says, "My lady, the bath is ready." Seeing Saravi completely silent, she walks closer and asks with concern, "Is something the matter, my lady?" Saravi asks if she knows what this is, explaining that her memories are still fuzzy. We then see that the box contains a woman's hair. Her maid, Emily, explains, "It's the hair of the young lady you used to despise." Saravi thinks in confusion. This wasn't in the novel. Was this one of the parts that was skipped? She asks why she hated that woman so much. Emily replies that the woman was always flirting with the crown prince. Saravi realizes her assumption was correct and thinks, no wonder the crown prince Raven was so shocked back then. She says that she should apologize to that woman someday. But Emily suddenly becomes anxious and replies, "My lady, that person has already passed away." Saravi is stunned and thinks, "Don't tell me. I killed her." Emily explains that the woman was so notorious that there wasn't a single person in the country who didn't know about her behavior. She continues, saying the woman secretly put an aphrodisiac in the crown prince's food and was caught sneaking into his bedroom that same night, after which she was immediately kicked out. Emily adds that Saravi was so furious after hearing about it that it was hard to stop her from going out to kill the woman on the spot. Saravi thinks to herself that the one who sneaked into the bedroom wasn't even her. Then Emily reveals that, out of spite for being rejected, the woman drank poison and took her own life right in front of the crown prince. Saravi is completely shocked and thinks that the woman's madness was on an entirely different level. She reflects that although the original Saravi had stalker tendencies, she would never drug someone or kill herself like that. Confused by everything, She begins to wonder if the story itself is slowly changing. The scene then shifts to the Crown Prince's room, where the vice commander reports that Saravi's meal from yesterday was well liked by everyone, and that she should continue preparing the meals from now on. The Crown Prince stays silent for a moment before saying calmly, "Tell her she can do as she pleases." The vice commander seems like he wants to say something, but the Crown Prince stops him before he can speak. Next, we see Saravi cooking diligently in the kitchen, thinking that if the novel's plot is changing, she must do everything she can to change her tragic future as well. Her maid happily watches her and asks if she can taste the food. After trying it, she smiles brightly and says, "It's delicious, my lady. Everyone will love it." Saravi smiles in return, hoping that it will make the Crown Prince happy too, and that he will finally eat properly. Soon after, the vice commander arrives with a message. The Crown Prince has officially allowed Saravi to be in charge of the meals. However, he adds that as long as Saravi remains in the kitchen, the Crown Prince won't eat a single bite. Saravi is confused and wonders if he's planning to go on a hunger strike. She remembers how badly damaged their relationship is and realizes that a simple apology will never be enough to fix things. If she can't move his heart through ordinary methods, she decides she must do something impactful to show her sincerity. When the vice commander asks if she is all right, Saravi smiles and says that she will go on a hunger strike as well, because she can't simply stand by and watch His Highness suffer alone. Later, we see Saravi looking weak and trembling, thinking that she might starve to death before the Crown Prince even eats. She goes to the training grounds and sees the Crown Prince practicing swordsmanship, wondering how he still has so much energy without food. Her head begins to hurt badly, so she looks for a quiet place to rest, but suddenly loses her balance and is about to fall. At that moment, the Crown Prince rushes over and catches her. Surprised, she asks how he managed to get there so fast, since he was far away just a moment ago. He coldly asks what she is doing in a restricted area. She quickly apologizes and explains that she feels dizzy and has a terrible headache. The Crown Prince angrily calls her pathetic while gripping her tightly. He tells her not to misunderstand. No matter what she does, he will never open his heart to her. Then, with cold eyes, he finally says, "You murderer." Saravi is left completely stunned, realizing that there is something else in the past she still doesn't know about. Murderer? What does he mean by that? Then we see the Crown Prince. He asked her what's with the way she's speaking and addressing him, and when did she start wearing these kinds of clothes. He also says, "Listen, even if you pretend to be calm, it just looks like an act." Hearing all these things, Saravi thinks she needs to stay calm. She'll figure out what she doesn't know later. For now, she'll focus on the current situation. Then she apologizes for everything up until now. Hearing the apology, the Crown Prince is shocked and asks what she just said. She clarifies, saying that she won't chase after him anymore. The Crown Prince asks her how he is supposed to believe those words. Saravi replies, "Haven't you already noticed? I haven't followed you around even once these past few days. That won't change in the future, so please rest assured." Seeing the Crown Prince believing her words, she advises him to break his fast, as it is connected to his health. After saying those words, she collapses in the Crown Prince's arms as she was also fasting. Seeing her faint, the Crown Prince is confused about what to do. After that, we see the Crown Prince eating Saravi's handmade food. After eating the food, he says it is not bad. Hearing the prince's compliment, Saravi becomes quite happy and thanks him for eating the food. Later, we see Saravi drinking tea while sitting on a sofa and thinking, was she a murderer? Did she kill someone? Then she asks her maid if she ever committed a crime. For example, "Did I ever kill someone?" she adds. Hearing her words, her maid Emily laughs and says, "Of course not, my lady. You're not capable of such a thing." Saravi then asks, "How can you be so sure? You don't know what I do when you're not around, right?" Emily then replies that since you doesn't seem to remember, I will tell you. You hate bugs, my lady, but you always said it would be cruel to kill them, so you always told me to let them go. Hearing that, Saravi is confused and says, "Did I really say that?" Emily replies yes, adding that it was actually more troublesome and tedious than just killing them. Saravi feels sorry for Emily and tells her that from now on, she can do as she likes. Emily says, "No, my lady. What I am trying to say is that you are absolutely not a bad person. Hearing all the compliments about her, Saravi thanks her maid. Then we see Saravi and her maid taking a stroll on the roadside. Suddenly, Saravi sees a nobleman bullying a poor child by taking his stuffed animal. She goes there and asks the nobleman to stop bullying the child. Hearing her order, the nobleman gets irritated and is about to hit Saravi. But when he sees that the girl has white hair and purple eyes, he realizes that she is the princess of the ducal family, the most powerful family in the kingdom. She then orders him to apologize to the child and return the stuffed animal. Hearing this, the man asks her why she would do this to a fellow noble. Saravi doesn't listen to any of his words and tells him to do it immediately. Having no other choice, he gives back the stuffed animal to the poor kid. When he is about to leave, Saravi warns him not to bully others like this again. Then Saravi looks at the poor boy, who is very happy, and tells him, "If anyone bullies you like this again, come to me anytime." The boy replied by saying yes. Then we see some noblemen watching this scene from afar, and among them was the crown prince, who was wearing a helmet. Then Saravi notices the vice commander talking with a helmet-wearing guy, and she thinks she wants to ask if dinner was good. Then she goes to him and asks, "Damien, did something happen?" Damien replies that the northern tribes have been causing problems lately, and they will be deploying for a subjugation mission in a few days. Hearing that, Saravi gets worried and says, "Then that's a serious matter." The vice commander comforts her by saying that it's nothing major and that this happens frequently, so they just need to go and resolve it. Then Saravi asks if she should prepare some dried food for the upcoming deployment. The confused vice commander asks, "Were you worried about the food?" Then a middle-aged man comes and says, "Are you coming too, Saravi?" That man advises her not to go, as that place will be a wild forest. Saravi calls him Uncle Bart and says, "If I don't go, who will prepare the meals?" Uncle Bart says that they would certainly appreciate having her there. Saravi asks him how many days are planned for the deployment, as she needs to prepare some ingredients in advance. Uncle Bart says that His Highness is also going, so he doesn't think it will be that long. He then goes to the helmet-wearing guy and asks, "Your Highness, how long will this deployment take?" Then the Crown Prince replies that it will take about 1 week. Saravi was startled to hear that, as she didn't expect the Crown Prince to be there. Uncle Bart then says to Saravi, "Did you hear that? It will take 1 week." Saravi nods and says yes. Then Uncle Bart asks what she is planning to prepare for the deployment. Saravi says that she will prepare some dried meat and fresh vegetables. Uncle Bart then advises her to prepare some fish as well. Saravi says okay, she will try. On the first day of the deployment, we see Saravi traumatized as she encounters something she didn't expect. That's how the chapter ends. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this.